Hi, Miss Paneer. Okay, so I am doing the virgin suicides, and at first I had done the study guide, and I came home to submit it, and I found my computer, and I opened it up, and there is a huge crack in the screen, and it won't turn on. It just keeps beeping. I don't know if you can see that. There's a crack, and it goes all the way over, and it won't turn on. So that is completely done. I will deal with that later, but I need to get this SSR project turned in, so this is the quickest thing I could think to do in replacement of it. So, and I'll have my mom email you and tell you what happened, I guess when she gets the chance. So I'm just going to go with this for now. Maybe I'll turn in the study guide if we get my computer working again to you, but this is what I could do. So I did the virgin suicides, and basically the plot is, okay, there's 5 sisters, and they live in this world where their parents are really strict, and like obviously by the name you can tell there's some mystery and, you know, kind of longing towards the sisters. So this whole story is told by the point of view at the perspective of these neighborhood boys, and they've always been really drawn to the sisters, really like interested in them because everything about them is really like, it's just one big question. So basically the first daughter, which is the youngest, she's 13, they find her in the bathtub and she's slitting her wrists and trying to bleed out. So basically that was her first suicide attempt, and she ends up living. And then all of the boys are at a party, and Celia jumps off the roof and dies. She jumps off the roof onto a fence and she dies. And so the boys now like have become infatuated with the girls. You know, they return to school. The girls have always been really sheltered, really like quiet, and nobody's really understood them. And so they come back to school, and the boys are just completely drawn, and, you know, they want to know what happened. So basically they're following them throughout the book. Okay, so all the daughters, we have Cecilia, Lux, Bonnie, Mary, Teresa, or Tracy, Lisbon. And so those are the 5 sisters, and their dad works at the high school. And Lux, who is like the symbol, like the sex symbol, really. She is like the most rebellious sister, the prettiest sister, and she meets Trip. And Trip he just totally falls in love with her off the bat. But the whole thing is like, also when we discuss themes, like I'll tell you, like it's kind of more of a theme because Trip ends up like leaving Lux, and so basically it's like a coming of age thing where Lux gives up her body to Trip, and at homecoming, when he convinces her parents to finally let them go to homecoming, all the girls, and Lux disobeys her mom and doesn't come home on time. They actually get locked in the house for basically till the end of the book. At that point, they get locked in the house, and the mom says it's because they're recovering from Cecilia's death, but really it's because they disobeyed her. So Mrs. Lisbon also has like this weird, like crazy controlling factor to her, and so that's another reason why. And the end of the book, Lux draws the boys in and then tells them that she's gonna go wait in the car, and she's waiting in the car, and all the other girls are hanging themselves. Bonnie hangs herself. No, wait. All the other girls have committed suicide. One of them hangs himself. The other one puts her torso in the oven. She's the only one who lives. They all commit suicide in one way or another. And so that's another reason why the boys are all like still obsessed with her, because when they're telling the story, they're like 40-year-old men. So they're all looking back on the story and recalling what happened. And so some quotes we have from this. We have, basically what we have here is a dreamer. When she jumped, she probably thought she would fly. So that's about Cecilia. And when Cecilia jumps down onto the fence, she is, it's like, you don't really know Cecilia. You just know that she's this really small, like, unhappy girl. And it's almost like life to her isn't really life. It's like there's something else that's worth trying. So Cecilia kills herself, and so that's what that's about. And that's another theme that we have in the book here, is that life itself doesn't have meaning until you know the meaning of death. And so that was a big theme for me when I was reading, and it was really obvious that life and death, when we were talking in class and we were talking about like that middle area, that middle gray area, hold on, let me find it. okay, the duality. So, like, the duality of life and death is where Cecilia and all the girls kind of get their mission. And so when all the other girls are committing suicide, it's supposed to be kind of like a drawing and like a connection back to Cecilia and how she was feeling. And so, so another theme we have would be like sex and like the fact that all the girls are like, they start out as virgins, and then progressively towards the middle of the book, as Lux becomes more of a sex symbol and the boys see her, one event it's pretty important in the book is when the boys see her having sex with like bunch of men, just they don't have faces or anything, they're unnamed, but the boys see her having sex on the roof of the house, which is just in so many ways a way of kind of telling her parents, you know, sticking it to the man. And like Lux uses sex in that way because she doesn't have, you know, when Trip leaves her after the first time they had sex, it was a big deal, and so she just doesn't feel like any respect for anything anymore. And so Lex kind of uses that against her parents throughout the book, even though it's something they don't know about. And so another quote is like, don't waste your time on life. And so the girls, they are this mysterious, this symbol, honestly, like they're a symbol the whole time throughout this book is like, you know, the way that they feel and like the coming of age and the fact that they're just so shaded, it's this mystery about them. And so the suicide, the fact that death is a better outlet to them than life, it's just kind of like we said, like this middle ground between where's the good and where's the evil in life. And so these girls are honestly just the contrast between the good, which would be life beyond, and the bad, which would be life living in reality. And so there's another quote. It's what we have here is hold on, I'm just actually remembering it. It's what we have here is someone who's lost touch with reality. And so all the girls kind of have lost touch with reality because they are in their own little world, honestly, like the whole time they're very secluded. And so reality to them wasn't reality. Their reality was totally different than everything else that was going on in life. So that's pretty much another one of the things that the girls have is like they don't really have a reality that's known to other people. Their lives are totally different. And so, okay, that is what I've got. Thank you.